Okay, so someone asked me a question, and I've been thinking about doing this. I've been thinking about doing this video. I just haven't found a day where I'm willing to go there. But today, I kind of am like, fuck it, I'm down to go there. So they left in their comment about something else, but at the bottom of the comment they put, P.S. I would love to hear more of your reflections growing up with your mom and immediate fam, and how you dealt with the death of your mom, as well as how did it shape your life. Okay, so for if you're new to my channel, if you're just following me, I lost my mom when I was 10 years old, and I lost my mom to hereditary heart disease that ran in my family. I also lost my grandmother and my uncle to the same disease. My uncle died before I was alive. His name was Tracy. And yeah, so my mom, her name was Rhonda. She was amazing. And from as early as I can remember, she was sick. You know, she had a heart disease. There were times when she was really healthy. Like she at one point ran a flower shop and she used to do weddings, and we would help her. I remember this time it was so she would just always have these like, you know, spray paints and just all these like arts and crafts, these tools just around the house. And one time she was gone and it was me and my sister there. And my mom had this like, it was like off-white spray paint, but I thought it was just white, it looked white, and I wanted to spray it. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna just spray it like on the, like, you know, on the border of the door. So I just sprayed a little bit on the border of the door, and you could tell the difference because it wasn't white, it was off-white. So like, you know, like you can see it. So I'm like, fuck, you know, as a kid, so I'm like, all right. So I'm like, I'm gonna just spray the whole thing, she's not even gonna know. So I just like sprayed the whole doorway, you know what I'm saying, up and down. And I thought it was fine. I was like, oh, this looks chill, like we good, we did that. And sure enough, my mom comes home and she closed the door. And the first thing she sees is the doorway. And so she was like, what the fuck? And like, who did this? And I immediately am like, Sharon, you know what I mean? I blame my sister. And she starts to like whoop Sharon, and then Sharon just like is crying, like I didn't do it. And Sharon looks over and she was like, look at his hands, look at his hands. And I had spray paint all over my hands, like, so then I got in trouble. So my mom, she was strict, she was disciplined, but she was amazing. I remember one time I got sick with the chicken pox, you know, so I couldn't go to school. And she stayed home with me, and like we had a water gun fight around the apartment, and just, she was the best. Like she would spoil me, she would give me all the games. I had Nintendo, and then I had PlayStation. She actually taught me a lesson once that now really does stick with me, and I think it's why I'm a very generous person. She would give me these game systems. So I had Nintendo, but like anyone who plays games, like you like all your games. You don't really care which, you know, so like I had the Nintendo, but then the PlayStation came out, so I got the PlayStation 2, but I still loved my Nintendo. Like there were games that I liked to play on Nintendo, and there were games I liked to play on my PlayStation. So she had a friend that we would go kick it with her friend and his kids, and she made me give her friend's son my Nintendo, and I lost it. Like, you know, I lost it. You know, I'm like crying, I was mad, and you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, it's mine, like it's not the same. She's like, but he doesn't have anything, you know? And she's just like, you have the game, like give him the Nintendo, like he doesn't have anything at all, like he's gonna appreciate it. Oh, I was so mad, I couldn't see past it. And even when I did give it to him, this is just how bad of a little kid I was. I would go over there. I would go over to his house and be like, let me play my game. You know what I'm saying? I would go over there and like playing my Nintendo. Like I like did not care because it was still my game, but I had to give it to him. But she taught me a valuable lesson. And you know, just about being blessed and sharing it with people who are less fortunate. And I didn't get it at the time, but I definitely get it now, and I thank her. So yeah, so my mom did eventually get sick, and you know, like I said, my grandma passed, my mom got sick, and it got to the point where she needed a new heart. She needed a heart transplant, and she ended up going into the hospital, and he told her that she had 6 months to live. And me and my sister ended up moving to the south side, where my auntie Joanne and Uncle Luther, they ended up taking us in on the south side. And we would go to visit her still We would go to visit her still. And yeah, I had to come, I think I was, at this point, I was like 7 or 8, and I had to already come to grips with the fact that my mom might die, you know. So I was like, you know, definitely telling her I loved her and just like really, you know, just cherishing every minute. And that was a tough time. But she eventually got the heart transplant. She ended up getting a new heart. You know, she was on the donor list. She ended up getting a heart. Because, you know, as you, I don't know if you guys know how the donor list works, but, you know, as you get on this list for people to donate a heart, and as you get sicker and sicker, you move up the list. And I also always check donate organs on my licenses, because for me, the fact that someone donated saved my mom's life, and it gave me a few more years with her, and that's priceless. So, you know, if I'm gonna die, I'm willing to give my organs away, you know, in the hope that someone else can live, you know. That might be a bit graphic and a bit lot, but just in the terms of telling the story, that's something I just wanted to share. So yeah, so she got a new heart, and she was good. You know, she was good. You know, she got better. She was able to get out of the hospital. And, you know, eventually me and my sister moved back in with her, you know. So my family owned a house on the west side. And my Uncle Luther was my Uncle Larry was on the first floor. I was my great grandma's house. And then my Aunt Gert was on the second, and we were on the third. And we were good. We were really, really good. You know, we were going back to school, and my mom, so she had become friends with all the nurses and stuff at the hospital and the doctors. So they got her a job at the hospital, like working at the front desk. So, you know, we were doing really, really good. But whenever you get, when you get a new heart, they have to give your body a pacemaker so that your body can keep up with the pace of the heart. I might be saying this wrong, but if that makes sense, like your body now needs help, because this isn't actually your heart. So your body needs help to adjust the pace or whatever. So anyway, long story short, her pacemaker went out. She had a heart attack and she passed out. And I was there. And, you know, I'm just like, mom, and she was so strong. She got up and she's like, I'm fine, it's gonna be fine. And, you know, we went downstairs and got my Uncle Larry, and he came up and they took her to the hospital. And at that time, I had such a positive relationship with the hospital, because I was so used to her going to the hospital and then coming back better. You know, like that wasn't a scary place. Like she would always go, and I still have so much love and respect for doctors. You know, I really do, for people who literally save lives. I have so much love and respect for them. And yeah, so like there are a lot of people who are scared of hospitals. I'm not one of them. Like I really have seen what medicine and the practice can do. But yeah, so, you know, I just assumed that she would be fine, that she would come back. And, you know, the next day, weirdly enough, I just felt something was off. Like even while I was at school, and like as I was coming home, like I knew something had happened. I felt it. And sure enough, as soon as I walked in the door, my aunt told me that my mom had died. And I couldn't even physically handle it. I just like ran to the bathroom and threw up. I just started crying, and I couldn't take it. And, you know, my sister came home. I think I told Sharon, and yeah, it's tough. You know, you lose the most important person in your life, you know, and there's nothing that can prepare you for that moment, for that loss. You don't think that there's another side of it. You think that like this is the end of the world, like this is it. Like, you know, like I don't even know that I want to be here. But you know, I got here myself, but you know, later on I learned, and like I would read a lot of stuff, and they talk about, you know, you need to focus on the memories that you enjoy and how much you love that person in life you got to spend with them, versus focusing on the loss of them and their death and the fact they're no longer here. You want to celebrate that person, because I don't know if you're spiritual, but God has a plan. You know, God has a plan, and we all serve our purpose. And you know, I'm so thankful for the time I got to spend with my mom. And you know, even when she got back from the hospital after getting a heart transplant, every night I would just tell her how much I loved her, and I would sleep next to her and hold her tight. Like I loved my mom so much, and I knew her time was precious. And my sister, she's gonna be mad I said this, but it is what it is. She was 14. Sharon was like a little bit younger. It was a little bit older than me. I was 10. Well, she was 13. So she was already kind of like living her life. And she would get into it with my mom sometimes, you know, they would get into it about things. Sharon wanted to go out and do this. And I'm like, yo, you're gonna regret this because mom doesn't have that much time, you know. But, you know, it's fine. So yeah, so eventually, after my mom passed, she wanted for us to get out of Chicago. Chicago was a hood and it wasn't safe. And I remember being on the west side of Chicago. We stayed on Long Street. And I was going to Francis Scott Peakey. My sister was going to Frederick Douglass. And I remember walking by, we were walking home from school and these guys just like drove up on us like, yo, y'all need to go in the house. You about to have a drive-by. So we go in the house and literally like 5 minutes later, they shot the whole block and it was just like bullet holes in our door. Like Chicago wasn't a joke. And you know, our family did not want us to grow up there. And honestly, this was a blessing for us because we got to move with my great aunt who lived in Michigan. She lived in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and you know, it was awesome. Like, you know, it was a very different childhood. I didn't like it at first, but now I really appreciate it because it's just a small town and it's just a safer place to grow up. You know, they're organized sports and, you know, we got to just like really grow up in a safe environment. And they spoiled us. They did a lot for me and my sister. And so this is something I want to talk about. So they took us to a lot of the like counselors. And this is why I think I had a good relationship with counseling because it really helped me. So they would take us to these like workshops where it would be a bunch of kids who had lost a parent. And, you know, you sit down and you talk about your feelings and, you know, you make a volcano and it erupts and all these activities. And, you know, for me, I just got to a point where I was just like, all right, I have cried enough. I have been sad enough. I'm over it. I'm fine, y'all. Like, I'm good. Like, you know, my mom loved me. I loved her. Like, yeah, y'all can get me out of this. Because yeah, I was able to make peace. I was able to make peace with it. But those classes definitely helped. But the pain is, it's not something that, like, even to this day, like, I'm definitely at peace with my mom. Losing my mom, but I always have my moments, like, especially Mother's Day. I can't do social media on that day because it's just like everybody sharing photos of their mom at different stages of their life. You know, this is us when we were young, and this is graduation, and this is our trip to Europe. And it's just like, I don't have those moments. I don't have those memories, and I'll never get to have them. And that sucks. You know, that's something that, you know, that bothers me to this day. And it's just like, I know that she would have been my best friend. And yeah, like, I just know how dope it would have been, even with the YouTube. And it's like my mom, like, I was raised with my great aunt, so they're older, whereas my mom, she would have been younger. It just would have been so different. I just feel like we could have had such a close relationship. And a lot of times I really feel like a loner. But on the other end of that, I think about the fact that had my mom lived and still been sick, there's just no way I would be living the life I'm living. It would have been my like priority to make sure that I was taking care of her and, like, you know what I mean, making sure she was good. And I would have got a corporate job. Like, I just would not have been just doing like this free nomad lifestyle I'm living now. There's just no way. But instead, like, you know, my great aunts, like my Aunt Thelma, and they were already fine. You know, they already were, you know, at a place in their lives where they were stable and taken care of, and still are, and do well for themselves. So for them, they just want us to be able to take care of ourselves. Like, they don't need anything from us. Like, you know, but I definitely want to get into a position where I can, like, do even more. But for them, they're allowing us to just live our lives and, you know, and enjoy it. And that's been beautiful. Like, and I have been able to really just explore myself and be who I am and try all these things. And it's been amazing, and I feel really, really blessed. I feel really, really blessed. I know this is what my mom would have wanted. I just would have preferred to have her here, truthfully. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, for the most part, I do pretty well. You know, I have my moments where I'm like, damn, I wish my mom was around, but I'm at peace with it. I know that she's probably looking down on me, and I hope that she's proud. And yeah, so I hope this wasn't too sad of a story, but I wanted to share this just for anyone who has lost someone. Like, I just know how hard that can be, and, you know, just try to, you know, for people who still have, you still have your mom, you still have your dad, like there are people who don't have those family members. So try to let the petty BS go, you know, and just like actually appreciate them. Like they created you. Like, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lot of patience and tolerance for people who like disrespect their parents, because I would kill to have them. I'm not a killer, but yeah, you know, I'm saying, like a saying or whatever. But yeah, so that's been my video. I'm just gonna like tell this story and then that'll be it. So thank you guys for listening. So much love.